So anybody has a question before we start on the moot court today?
Yes, ma'am.
पूछो, क्या क्या सवाल है?
Ma'am, ये in our mock trial exams, ma'am, 10 marks are for final arguments, 10 for examination chief and 10 for cross. तो मैम final arguments में हमें क्या करना है?
कोई और बताएगा? आज ही को कर रही है बॉस। क्या करना है अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट्स में?
मैम final arguments.
हाँ, फाइनल वही है कि एक ही आर्ग्यूमेंट है, यहाँ पर कोई स्टेजेस थोड़ी है। आर्ग्यूमेंट्स में क्या करना है? एनीबडी हु विल टेल?
Either you're going to present arguments on facts or arguments on law. So you have to summarize. In case if you're presenting on facts, then you have to summarize everything and establish and give arguments on facts. So
By reference to
by
the
reference to the
evidence,
statements and testimonies.
Testimonies.
And for arguments on law, you have to use law, and you have to tell how your case is, how this law would apply to your case, and or how it would not apply to your case, and establish or
And how the proven facts fulfill the requirements of the legal section.
Yes.
तो वेदांत अब क्या बचा?
Nothing. It was clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, is there any dress code?
क्या सोचते हो, होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए?
पता नहीं होना चाहिए।
Madam, only formal chat can work because we don't have ties here.
जी,
Formal shirt would be okay, I suppose.
हाँ नहीं तो टाई तो पहन ही नहीं सकते हो। अच्छा नहीं, टाई तो पहन सकते हो, वो नहीं पहन सकते अपना रिबन। हाँ नहीं, तो मी एज लॉन्ग एज इवन इफ यू कोई पार्शियली ड्रेस करते हो into your whites or blacks, I think that should be okay. मगर उसको तब फायदा ना जब अपना ऑडियो ऑन वीडियो ऑन करोगे। वीडियो ऑन करोगे कि नहीं करोगे? इसलिए जिसका प्रेजेंटेशन है उसको तो करना चाहिए ना। both the sides, both the witness and the lawyer should have the video on at that point of time.
मोट एग्जाम में मैम, तो मोट एग्जाम में तो कंपल्सरी होगा मैम, उसमें तो वीडियो ऑन रखना पड़ेगा।
ये तो रखना तो इसमें भी चाहिए, इसमें क्यों नहीं रखना चाहिए? जिसके बिना कैसे क्रॉस कभी हो सकता है कि हम बिना शक्ल देखे, इवन जज जब जो भी प्रोसीडिंग्स होती है तो सबके वीडियोस ऑन होते हैं ना, बिना वीडियो ऑन के थोड़ी प्रोसीडिंग्स हो जाती। बंदा कौन बैठा है पीछे पता ही नहीं है ना।
एटलीस्ट जिसका एग्जाम चल रहा है वो तो ऑन रखे।
हाँ बिल्कुल, जिसका एग्जाम चल रहा है जो उसमें विटनेस है वो भी रखे। दो लोगों का तो वीडियो ऑन होना ही चाहिए। और क्योंकि आप लोग सभी लॉयर भी बनोगे और विटनेस भी बनोगे, तो इसे सबको सफेद या काला पहनना पड़ेगा। जो लोग का उस दिन एग्जाम है, बाकी लोग अपना नॉर्मल पहन के आ सकते हैं, पर जिनका एग्जाम है वो लोग तो यूनिफॉर्म में, मिनिमल यूनिफॉर्म में तो होना ही चाहिए। फील आएगी ना कि हाँ कोर्ट में कुछ प्रेजेंटेशन हो रही है।
yes.
तो ठीक है, मेड कंपल्सरी, everybody has to be in either white or black. Everybody who has an exam that day, not the whole class, but whatever number of students have an exam that day, they will come in white or black. मैंने तो इसीलिए प्रोफेशन ज्वाइन नहीं किया। मुझे व्हाइट और ब्लैक पूरी जिंदगी कौन पहन सकता है? मैं तो नहीं पहन सकती, मुझे तो रंग बिरंगा पहनना होता है। पर आप लोगों ने अब किया है तो करना ही पड़ेगा, एटलीस्ट वनडे तो पहनना ही पड़ेगा। किसी को कोई तकलीफ है इस बात में?
मैम कंपल्सरी ना हो, लेकिन एटलीस्ट वो चॉइस पे डिपेंड हो सबके।
क्यों why should it not be compulsory? कोर्ट में बोलोगे कंपल्सरी नहीं है, हम तो नहीं पहनेंगे यूनिफॉर्म। नहीं मैम,
एग्जाम है ना मैम एक तो
एग्जाम किस चीज का है? कोर्ट का ही है ना।
यस सर।
मॉक ट्रायल, मूट कोर्ट दोनों कोर्ट में ही होते हैं। इंटरव्यू तो हो सकता है चेम्बर्स में, मतलब होता ही है चेम्बर्स में, मगर प्रोसीडिंग्स आई विटनेस, जो विटनेस एग्जामिनेशन थोड़ी हो सकती है बिना कोर्ट के। कोर्ट में कुछ करोगे तो यूनिफॉर्म में ही करोगे ना।
यस
इसमें
मैम।
बहस नहीं है, ये फाइनल हो गया। अच्छा हुआ किसी ने पूछ लिया, मुझे तो याद ही नहीं थी ये बात। तो ठीक है, अभी व्हाइट या ब्लैक पहनना है, कंपलसरी है फॉर ऑल दो स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव एन एग्जाम दैट डे। अच्छा, और कोई सवाल? तो हमारी टीम्स रेडी हैं मूड कोर्ट के लिए।
Yes, madam.
गुड। सो हु इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट?
Madam, I am the respondent.
तो आपका वो कौन है, प्लेंटिफ कौन है?
Ma'am,
Petitioner.
I am the petitioner.
हाँ, petitioner कौन है?
Ma'am, I am the petitioner.
कौन बोला? अच्छा, हर्षित। So
Yes,
Harshit,
ma'am.
you have to start with a brief statement of facts and then
Okay, ma'am.
say what are the issues you're going to discuss, and then
Okay,
talk
ma'am.
about the issues, the argument on the issues.
So, ma'am, the manners has to be followed now in the
जी
presentation.
जी। अब आप कोर्ट में है तो कोर्ट को
Okay,
जैसे आप एड्रेस करेंगे वैसे शुरू करेंगे।
okay, ma'am. Okay.
नॉर्मली तो क्लासरूम में तो नेचुरली हम इस पे भी ध्यान करते हैं कि जब अपनी सीट से उठ के पोडियम तक आते हो तो आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या
Yes,
पता है।
ma'am.
यहाँ तो वो थोड़ा पॉसिबल नहीं है, बट वी स्टार्ट नोटिसिंग। जब हम फिजिकल क्लास में देखते हैं तो वी स्टार्ट नोटिसिंग द स्टूडेंट्स बॉडी लैंग्वेज फ्रॉम द पॉइंट द स्टूडेंट्स गेट्स अप फ्रॉम द सीट एंड रीचेस द पोडियम, and then whatever happens on the
Yes, ma'am.
podium, and then when the student goes back. So you are being observed at all point of time. Don't think that the judge will observe you only when you are speaking. The judge are also observing you when you're sitting in the courtroom, when you get up,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you look at your papers. So everything is under watch when you are in the courtroom. Yeah, start, Harshit.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The council seek permission to address the benches or ladyship.
Proceed.
Much obliged,
You
your
can
ladyship.
call the court. No, you can address the court by calling them as Your Honor.
Much obliged. Your Honor, present special leave before this honorable court is against an erroneous judgment of High Court. In present case, NCB had launched the complaint against Elizabeth Brown for illegally importing 125 grams cocaine into India and for being in possession of it. Through the course of my submissions, I shall be making primarily 3 arguments. The judgment of High Court is arbitrary and unreasonable in nature. Supreme Court intervention is required in this case, and the circumstantial evidences are enough to prove the guilt of accused. If the council seeks permission to address the facts of the case.
Okay.
Your Honor, on 3rd January 2000, Mr. Frank, the Chief Custom Officers at Frankfurt, Germany, seized parcel which was destined for GPO Delhi and addressed to Elizabeth. Cocaine was confiscated by the custom authorities and criminal case was registered against the Elizabeth. Thereafter, German government had obtained the consent of Government of India for controlled delivery of cocaine in India. Mr. Frank sent it for the forward transmission to GPO Delhi on 9 January 2000. The Captain Peter handed it over to Mr. Premchand of NCB. Mr. Premchand thereafter contacted the Chief Postmaster GPO and informed him about the plan to nab the complainant of the parcel on 15th January 2000. Mr. Premchand received a telephone call on 15th January from the Chief Postmaster GPO that foreign lady had arrived to collect the post parcel. NCB officer caught the accused red-handed in the possession of the cocaine and arrested her after following the procedure under NDPS Act. Accused in a statement under section 313 CRPC stated that she expected the postal parcel containing some papers from her father in Essex. He was to use to send to GPO Delhi when she found an intimidation slip indicating parcel for Elizabeth had arrived. She took slip to person in attending counter. He asked her to wait so that he could locate the parcel. She took it and after opening it, she saw it contained the several sachets of the white powder and not the paper from her father. Accused turned back to the counter to return it for the summon by the NCP officers. After following certain procedural requirements, arrested her. Accused told why her name is Elizabeth Brown. She knew nothing about the parcel. addressed to the Elizabeth. She told that it was a case of mistaken identity and they'd arrested the wrong Elizabeth. Your Honor, it is humbly submitted before this honorable court that SLP by state is maintainable because the judgment of High Court is not as per judicial lines. Submission is twofold. Judgment of High Court is arbitrary and unreasonable, and Supreme Court intervention is required in this case. Ordinarily, Supreme Court does not entertain an appeal against an exercise of its discretion by court below it if it has been exercised along sound judicial lines. But if the discretion is arbitrary or is based on misunderstanding of principles that govern its exercise, or order has been passed without the jurisdiction, or if there's an erroneous interpretation of law, or without the proper appreciation of material on record, Supreme Court would intervene if there has been a resultant failure of justice. It has been stated in the case of Ajit Singh versus State of Punjab.
So what
Your
is
Honor,
your case?
in the present case-
Why this SLP be admitted?
Your Honor, moving on to further submissions, in the present case, High Court failed to appreciate Section 21 and 23 of the NDPS Act that they are in such wide terms that they can take within their ambit the controlled delivery offences. The controlled delivery offences means the technique
Mr.
of
Counsel?
allowing the illicit.
Mr. Counsel, why do you
Yes,
think
Your
this
Lordship, Your
SLP
Honor.
should be? Why this SLP should be admitted?
Your Honor, because the High Court failed to appreciate the Section 21 and the 23 of the NDPS Act. The High Court held that the controlled delivery offences cannot be included within the power of the government because as the Indian government has ratified the convention, but the legislature has not
provision
approved.
of law? Under which provision of law you have approached the Supreme Court?
Your Honor, the 136 article.
So under Article 136, is this a ground for SLP?
Your Ladyship, because it has judgment has not been on the sound judicial principles, and there has been a resultant failure of the justice.
Okay, proceed.
Your Ladyship, the control as well as the preamble of the NDPS Act, which the High Court failed to appreciate and failed to declare that Act is on the implement the provisions of the international conventions on the NDPS Act. And the Section 2, Clause 9 of the Act defines the international conventions to include any other international convention or protocol or other amending international conventions relating to drugs which may be ratified or exceeded by India after the commencement of this Act. India has ratified this convention prior to 2001 Amendment Act and 1985 Act. The controlled delivery offences and empowered the central government to undertake controlled delivery offences before the 1985. The exercise of power, Your Ladyship, is not circumscribed by the limitation as to who may invoke the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not court of law. The Supreme Court is court of equity as well. The Supreme Court has characterized this power under 136 as untrammeled reservoir of power incapable of being confined to definitional bounds. The Supreme Court, in the present case, failed to appreciate that respondent had failed to rebut the presumption against her raised by Section 35 and 54 of the Act as to the culpable mental state and the innocence of the respondent and the commission of offences from the position of the which were found in the case of the respondent when the NCB officers grabbed her. Section 28 of the NDPS Act, which defines as whoever attempts to commit any offence punishable under this chapter or to cause such offence as to be committed and in such act does any attack towards the commission offence shall be punishable with punishment provided for the offence. It attracts the same punishment as the commission of offence. Respondent at least attempted to import the cocaine into India. She has been found in the possession of India by the NCP officers. There was no justification given by it that she was just stating the case of the misunderstanding of her name, which was not sufficient for the NCB officers to that she has not been the granting the case. Your Ladyship, in the present case as well as the circumstantial evidences are sufficient to prove the guilt of the accused, it has to be interpreted in the light of fact and law. Item of the circumstantial evidence is the evidentiary fact from which inference may be drawn, rendering existence of fact in issue more probable. In present case, circumstantial evidences are enough to prove the guilt of accused. The testimony of Mr. Premchand, corroborated by the circumstances and the testimony of the Mr. Frank, interpreting the situation at hand, successfully proves the factus probandum. Accused was nabbed with a parcel containing cocaine, which was in her name. Section 54 of the NDPS Act raises the presumption of guilt from the possession of any narcotic drugs or illicit articles mentioned therein. Possession has not been defined in the Act, but there are two essential elements of it. The possession has been defined as the
Mr.
physical
Constable?
contact and
Mr. Counsel,
yes, Your Ladyship.
in your fact, you said that the accused person returned to the counter to return the parcel. Is that a fact
Yes, Your
proven?
Ladyship.
So what is your explanation? Why did
You-
she return?
Your Ladyship, she returned. She said that she wanted to return, but before that she returned, she was already nabbed by the NCB officers.
But she did return, or she did not return.
She wanted to return. She said that she wanted to return in the facts, but she was already nabbed by the officers. She said that when she opened the parcel, she found that there was no papers in it. There were some sachets of the white powder which was not addressed to her. She wanted to return, but before that, she was already nabbed by the NCB officers. And when they were examining under the section 313,
So
then
what
she
is
gave
the
the statement that
evidence?
she wanted
So
to
what is
return.
the evidence that it is she only who was the expected recipient?
Your Honor, because she was already going to that chief post officer regularly, and she was inquiring about her. She was inquiring about a parcel before that. Parcel came before the parcel was imported into India. She was regularly inquiring about that parcel, and when
Yeah,
the
that she's
German
agreeing,
government
that she is agreeing that she was expecting a parcel from her father.
Yes, Your Ladyship, but Your Ladyship, in this the present case, there has not been any parcel after the parcel that has been received by the Indian government from the German government. There has not been any parcel received in her name, which was she was expecting from her father, addressing to her. There was no papers in it. There was no parcel after that also.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
If
proceed.
she was expecting the parcel, so her father might have sent it.
Mm-hmm.
In the present case, Section 54 of the Act raises the presumption of guilt from the possession of any narcotic drug or illicit articles mentioned therein. Possession has not been defined in the NDPS.
Has this been proved that no letter from the father came at any point of time later on?
During the submission, examination of her in Section 313, there was there was when the examination was there, she could not further prove that she was expecting the parcel, but there was not any explanation why the parcel is not given.
Why?
Why the parcel has not been received from her father? Why still the parcel was not in the GPO Delhi?
Okay. Proceed.
Section 4 of the Act raises the presumption of guilt from the possession of any narcotic drug or illicit article mentioned therein. Possession has not been defined in the NDPS Act, but there are two essential elements of it: the physical contact and intent with such control is exercised in the present case. Accused was found in the possession of the contraband. All the procedural requirements of the Act, from starting of the seizure of the contraband till the accused examination, every procedure is followed. In the case of Sharad Bidhi Chand Sharda versus State of Maharashtra, Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the 5 principles with regard to the case based on the circumstantial evidences.
In which year was this passed? In which year was this judgment given?
1979. The council is unaware of this.
So you will supply the citation to the.
Yes, Your Ladyship. May I proceed, Your Ladyship?
Your Honor, please.
Your Honor, circumstantial evidences from which the conclusion of drawn, it has been established in the present case. The fact should be consistent with the guilt of the accused. The NCB officers, when they nabbed the accused, they were nabbed with the position, and they were all the planning that has been confiscated. The Mr. Frank from the German government has informed the Mr. Premchand that they have seized the parcel containing the name Elizabeth, and they has known Elizabeth, any other Elizabeth, after the NCB has accepted the Elizabeth Brown examination. The chain of evidences must be complete as not to leave any reasonable doubt. In the present case, accused is caught with the parcel without justifying a cause for it, bearing in mind that it is not for the prosecution to meet every other hypothesis suggested by accused. It is humbly submitted before this honorable court that circumstantial evidences in instant matter shows that it must have been done by the accused. Your Ladyship, I rest my submissions here, Your Honor.
Is that all? You want
Yes,
to make
Your
no,
Honor.
you want to make no prayer?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry. In the light of the issues raised, argument advanced, and authorities cited, may this honorable court be pleased to accept the application appeal by the NCB, that is my counsel, the applicant, and order the direct the accused to take the corrective measures against the, and or to pass any such orders that it deems fit in the interest of justice, equity, and good conscience. And for this,
What is the
petitioner
order
is
you want us
duty
to
bound.
make? What is the order you
Ma'am,
want us
accept
to?
Your Honor, to accept the application, not to
Whose
reject it.
application? Whose application?
A criminal application of the state.
Has the state come to the Supreme Court?
Yes, Your Ladyship.
What is the title of this case?
NCB versus Elizabeth Brown. State. NCB versus Elizabeth Brown. I think.
Okay. So you, so what do you want?
To accept the application, not to reject it, to make the further arguments, to make the further submissions.
So you
It has been
are
stated that
are you making an argument for admission of SLP?
yes, Your Honor.
Then your prayer was different, no?
In the lights of issues raised, arguments advanced, and authorities cited, may this honorable court be pleased to accept the application and to pass such an order as it deems to fit in the interest of justice, equity, and good conscience.
The pronunciation of conscience नहीं होता, बहुत बच्चे आजकल कहने लगे, पता नहीं कहाँ से पकड़ा है, but it is good conscience. So you want, so in simple words, what is it that you want?
To accept the application and not to reject it.
उसको admit कहते हैं. So admit the SLP.
Admit the application and admit the
SLP ना, SLP.
yes.
और एप्लीकेशन कौन सी? एप्लीकेशन कौन सी लगाई आपने? SLP लगा रहे हो कि एप्लीकेशन लगा रहे हो? क्या लगा रहे हो?
SLP under Article 136 of the Constitution.
तो SLP तो वो नहीं होती है. SLP is not an application. Please tell me, what have you filed? Have you filed an SLP or you filed in some application?
It is an appeal against the judgment of the High Court. Especially against the judgment of the High Court.
So that's what I'm asking you. What did the High Court hold?
High Court acquitted the accused, and the Supreme Court granted the appeal to the Supreme Court granted the permission. The Supreme Court granted the permission to appeal against the judgment of High Court.
if the high, so your appeal has already been admitted. They're saying that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then if the appeal has already been admitted, then what is it that you are arguing? You are still saying that my application be admitted.
In the fact sheets, it was stated that we had to argue regarding that it should not be rejected, that it has to be maintained, because the respondents was arguing that it should be rejected. Why it should be rejected? The petition application should be rejected.
Okay, we need to hear the other side.
The counsel seeks permission to address the bench.
Proceed.
Very good afternoon. This is counsel for the respondent on behalf of the Elizabeth Brown. The respondent in the instant case in the dispute between Narcotics Control Bureau versus Elizabeth Brown. Please this honorable court. The counsel seeks permission from the Honorable Supreme Court to collectively to address the bench as your ladyship.
Kindly address the court as your honor.
Much obliged. The counsel has approached my learned friend counsel has approached this court under Article 136 of the Constitution of India, and we, the respondent, humbly accept the jurisdiction of the learned. Much obliged. If your honor is well versed with the facts of the case, the counsel seeks permission to present the pleadings.
Kindly present the facts.
Sure, you know. The facts in this instant case are very simple. My client, Elizabeth Brown, was waiting for a parcel of her father from Colombia. So one parcel bearing number 007 was addressed, alleged to be addressed to her by the appellant. So on 3rd of January 2000, one of the parcel bearing number 007 was confiscated by a German government, and it was found that it contained 125 grams of cocaine. Since then, the German government contacted the Indian government, and a so-called concept of controlled delivery was thought of, and the Indian government, with the help of the German government, with the help of the Indian government, thought to open up the case and see who are the accused involved in this offense. So on 5th of January 2000, the parcel was handed over to Mr. Peter, captain of Lufthansa flight from Germany to India, and Mr. Peter handed over the parcel to Mr. Premchand, narcotics control NCB officer. The NCB officer, in compliance with the chief postmaster GPO, made a plan to arrest the recipient of this parcel. So and told the chief postmaster to call him when the recipient comes and ask for the parcel. So on 11th of January 2000, my client, on the inference that a parcel has come from his father, went to the board and saw that there is a parcel with the name of Elizabeth Brown. On being asked about the detail of the parcel, the postmaster said that yes, there is a parcel with the name of Elizabeth Brown, and directed my client to approach the concerned postalman. So my client approached that concerned person, and after letting my client wait for 15 minutes, he handed over a parcel to my client. On an impression that this parcel is from his father, my client took the parcel and was on way to a home and opened the parcel in the meantime. On seeing that the parcel did not contain what she expected of, because she expected some papers from her father, there was some small sachet of brown powder which she was very unknown of, which she didn't knew what the contents of that parcel were. On being getting information that this parcel was not the same as she expected, she went back to the post to the chief postmaster, and in the meantime, some 2 or 3 officers surrounded her and arrested her with some procedural requirements. And since then, the case was filed in the district court, where the honorable court convicted my client, and in an appeal, the honorable high court very strongly acquitted my client with proper reasonings to the fact. Hence this appeal has been filed by the Narcotics Control Bureau.
Okay. So what have you to say against whatever the prosecution has proved?
Lordship, can you please, Your Honor, can you please repeat?
Yeah. So what is your case?
Sure,
The
Your Honor.
prosecution has put their case forward.
Your Honor, this case is nothing more than victimization of my client for yet another legal battle in this honorable Supreme Court. Your Honor, there are primarily 3 issues in this case that the council would deal in. Your Honor, the first
You're not
issue.
sure of the issues? You think this is probable issues?
No, Your Honor, the council would deal mainly in the 3 issues which my learned friend has dealt with. The council would like to rebuttal all the issues and would like to prove his case.
Okay.
Sure, indeed. Your Honor, the first issue in this instant case is of much importance, and that is of the concept of controlled delivery. In order to understand the concept of controlled delivery, we need to have a look to the Bill 14 of 1998, which was yet to be passed by the Parliament. It was presented in the Parliament, but it was not passed due to the Parliament was dissolved. So Section 2 Clause 7B talks about what is controlled delivery. So, Your Honor, the question in this instant case.
So the legislation does talk about concept delivery?
Your Honor, in this instant case, at the date of the offense, there was no such concept of controlled delivery in the legislation. The council would like to make a light of the definition of controlled delivery as it was being mentioned in the bill of 1998 that was yet to be passed on the date of the offense.
I know the Section 2.7 you said talks about controlled delivery.
Of the bill, of the instant bill, it talks about the definition to the controlled delivery. 2.7b. So it means that the council would not like to verbatim the definition, but it is to the light that it talks about the delivery of the contraband substances to the in a view to identify the persons involved in the commission of the offense under this act. So it is more than the delivery under the light of the authorities, so as to unearth the person involved in the commission offense under this act. Your Honor,
Mr. Counsel, what is the importance? Why are you referring to Section 2.7, which was never, which is not in force?
Your Honor, indeed, this instant case, the facts and the grounds of appeal of my learned friend are all based on this concept only, on the controlled delivery. If we look to the facts of the case, the Mr. Premchand, that is the NCB officer, had a controlled delivery of the parcel number 007 that was addressed to a person named Elizabeth Brown, which was not my client. So this controlled delivery, the concept of controlled delivery was not in force at the time of the offense, but the prosecution has made that since it has been since it has given a reference to the preamble of the NDPS Act, which talks about international conventions, they are contending that the concept of controlled delivery is very much in force in India, in the Indian territory. So the council would like to appraise this court of what are the differences between an international law and a municipal law, and why an international law of being and if the India is a signatory to the particular conventions, why that international law will not per se become a municipal law? If the court allows, the council would like to give some reasoning to this fact.
Please.
Sure. Indeed, Your Honor. The question which arises for the consideration is whether the obligation of the government of India under the accord and obligations attached to the UN conventions against illicit traffic in narcotics, drugs and psychotropic substances 1988 has the force or authority of law. So case here is the issue whether an international law is per se a domestic law. Your Honor, the applicability of international law in the municipal law was very well discussed by several courts of Indian jurisdiction. The very first case arose in Kerala High Court in the case of Xavier versus Canara Bank. The case is of year 1969, and it was held that the remedy for breaches of international law is general and is not to be found in the law courts of the state, because international law per se.
1969 judgment is of which court?
Kerala High Court.
So Kerala High Court judgment is of any relevance to us in the Supreme Court?
Your Honor, the council would like to address this issue as well. This decision of the Kerala High Court was very well upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Jolly George Verghese versus Bank of Cochin in the year of 1980.
So why not refer to the Supreme Court judgment? Why refer to the Kerala High Court?
Indeed, Your Honor. This concept taken from the
and since 1998 to 2020, there has been no variation in the Supreme Court approach to this question.
Indeed, Your Lordship, as per the difference between international, the applicability of international law to the domestic law, the courts have taken a very rational view and have very categorically held that the positive commitment of the states parties ignites legislative action at home, but does not automatically make the covenant an enforceable part of the corpus juris of the India.
How would you say that Vishakha, the Supreme Court did make the law by reference to the international conventions, and the Indian government was obliged but had not done anything?
Indeed, Your Lordship, the case of Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan, the court categorically held the international law can be said to be enforceable to the municipal law if there is nothing contrary in the municipal law. So here the word contrary has to be emphasized. If in the given case there is another law or there is no law in the municipal in the domestic law, the enforceability of the international law won't be considered as to be per se. It has to be given a legislative action to become it to make it a relevant law in the as a municipal law.
So,
indeed, Your Lordship, indeed, Your Honor, the case in the instant case, the preamble of the NDPS Act 1985 talks about the international conventions, but we need to see here is that if the intention of the legislature was to include international law per se to the domestic law, there was no need to pass an Amendment Act of 1998. So the intention of the legislature has to be considered. If the intention of the legislature was to give the same enforceability of the international conventions to the Indian laws, there was no need for the legislation to pass another amendment of the for this instant case, the concept of controlled delivery.
So what is the date of the incident in your case?
It is 3rd of January 2000.
So this has happened after the amendment in the law.
No, Your Honor. The amendment was presented in the Parliament, but it was not passed since the Parliament was dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
So the enforceability of the amendment was is not a question, because since it was not a law at that particular time of offense.
Is it a law now?
Indeed, Your Honor.
When was this introduced?
It was introduced in the year of 2002. If the council says ignorance of the fact, but it was to my limited knowledge, it was passed in the year 2002.
The same year in which the date of offense happened? The offense happened?
No, no, Your Honor. It was passed nearly after 2 years of the date of offense.
Okay, proceed.
Indeed, Your Honor. The second issue the council would like to contend is of the section 54 of the NDPS Act 1985. My learned friend has very categorically held that there is a presumption of guilt from possession of any contraband substance if it was found with the accused. So the council would like to appraise of the court that section, the section 54 of the Act raises a presumption of guilt from possession of any substance or illicit article mentioned herein. The council would like to contend that it is a well settled that unlawful possession of the contraband is the sine qua non for conviction under the Act, and the fact has to be established by the prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. Possession has not been defined in the Act. In the NDPS Act, possession has not been defined, but has been judicially construed to be conscious and intelligent possession, and not merely the physical presence of the accused in proximity or even in close proximity to the object. Your Honor, we need to emphasize on the fact that my client was of the view that the parcel that was addressed to her was of her father, was sent by her father, but she was not aware of the fact that what was inside the parcel. It was only mentioned the name of Elizabeth. There are two very essential elements of possession. Firstly, the corpus, that is the physical control, and secondly, the intent, that the person should know what he is possessing. And it is a conscious and intelligent possession of any contraband which attracts penal provision. So we need to understand that the accused should be aware of what he is possessing, and it is for the prosecution to establish that the accused was found in conscious and intelligent possession of the contraband. Your Honor, this very well-versed case on the same line that was decided by the Apex Court. The council would like to cite a case on the same lines.
Yes.
Sure. The case mentioned. The case of Maharaja Prithvi Singh Ji versus State of Bombay. The accused was prosecuted under Bombay Prohibition Act for carrying an excess amount of alcohol with him. The accused admitted the ownership of the luggage, but he took the plea that he did not know about the existence of the numerous bottles of foreign liquor in his trunks. The Apex Court acquitted the accused on the ground of failure of the prosecution to prove that the accused had knowledge of the contents of his luggage and accordingly possessed and imported the intoxicant substance in the provisions in contravention to the provisions of the Act. So, in the light of the citations advanced of the Honorable Apex Court,
which year was this? Which year was this decided?
Your Honor, the council seeks. The council is not aware of the year of the mentioned case.
But you're sure it is an Apex Court decision?
Indeed, Your Honor, the council seeks ignorance on the part of this the case, year of the case. The council is not aware of the year.
Is the council
The council
sure?
would submit an affidavit.
Is the council sure that it's an apex court decision?
Indeed, Your Lordship, the case has been very well decided by the apex court.
And how do you know that?
The council had a reference to some websites of legal websites and has referred to the instant case.
Which legal website?
IndianQanun.com.
Okay. Proceed.
Indeed, Your Lordship. The council would like to mention the third issue in this instant case. Your Honor, in this instant case, what has to be seen is whether there has been any tampering with the contraband possession. To understand this issue, Your Honor, we need to see the chain of the events linked in this case. So the parcel was very firstly confiscated by Customs Officer Germany. Then it was handed over to the captain of the flight, Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter handed over the parcel to Mr. Premchand, the NCB officer in India, and later on, the Mr. Premchand handed over the parcel to Chief Postmaster (GPO), and then the Chief Postmaster handed over the parcel to the client. So, indeed, Your Lordship, in this instant case, we need to have a very pragmatic view whether there exists an out of evidence why the court has to neglect that there is no possibility of being tampering of this parcel. The client being only being a English name has been victimized of her being a foreign lady in this nation, and taking advantage of the case, the authorities have very vehemently and very categorically made a false case against her. We need to also check that if there exists any iota of evidence why we need to see that the parcel cannot be tampered, because it was already been confiscated by the German in Customs Officer Germany. And the second, the council would also like to contend is that if we make a view that the Customs Officer found 125 grams of cocaine in the parcel bearing number 007, are there any witnesses to the same? Are there any evidence or evidence to support this case of the Customs Officer Germany? Why this it can also be a case. We can't neglect the possibility that the Customs Officer deliberately made a case to victimize my client. So, in light of all the facts, we need to see whether there is a proper chain of events proved by the prosecution. Indeed, in the light of the other facts, the council would like to make a prayer to this honorable court.
Proceed.
Therefore, in the light of the facts stated, issues raised, and the authorities cited, and arguments advanced, it is most humbly prayed before this honorable court that it may be pleased to dismiss the appeal of the appellant and affirm and uphold the judgment of the Honorable High Court of Delhi, and pass any other order that it may deem fit in the interest of justice, equity, and good conscience.
Now the rest of the class. What is it that you have learned? Can anyone who has not read the facts at all or the material at all tell from hearing today, what are the facts of this case? Now, I've asked them quite many questions. In the exam, we will not be asking you so many questions, but I asked a range of questions to ascertain how much they were in grips, and both of them done a very good job. I must congratulate both of them. You prepared very well. There were certain things which we can improve upon. For example, when I specifically asked you, your prayer was comparatively clearer, saying that dismiss the appeal. And when you said uphold the judgment of the High Court, you could have added saying, what is the judgment of the High Court? What is the judgment of the High Court? Pawan?
Right.
हाँ तो सीधा सा बोलो ना. husband of the order of acquittal by the High Court should be upheld. So when I asked the Harshit was the first one. I asked, what is your prayer? So what is the prayer he made? He kept on saying, my appeal be admitted. अरे ये थोड़ी आप बोलोगे to set aside the judgment of the High Court acquitting, and he, the accused should be convicted for these reasons. वैसे तो सिंपल वर्ड्स में क्या आपकी हुआ है, तो आप कॉन्स्टेंटली जो कह रहे हो कि हमारी अपील हमें एक्सेप्ट की जाए, और नेचुरली आप वर्ड आपने इस्तेमाल एप्लीकेशन किया, तो विच इज नॉट द राइट वर्ड. इट हैज टू बी the SLP should be allowed. But when you say SLP to be allowed, it is kind of much more at a preliminary stage. You will use those words. At this point of time, when the argument is on merit, you have to say that the judgment of the High Court be set aside, and इसका conviction क्या है, ये restore करना है. First court में क्या हुआ था? Conviction हुआ था, acquittal हुआ था?
Conviction.
फिर आप बोलो कि restore the judgment of the which court?
Trial court.
Trial court वर्ड इस्तेमाल करोगे?
Sessions court.
Session
NDPS session court.
नहीं, इसका सेशन भी नहीं है ना, NDPS कोर्ट है, वो स्पेशलाइज्ड कोर्ट है, स्पेशलाइज्ड कोर्ट है. इट्स नॉट एन ऑर्डिनरी सेशन जज. It's a specialized because the NDPS legislation does establish a special court. So NDPS courts, they're manned by a session judge. That's correct. But the appropriate name of this trial court, session court, is NDPS court. So you will say, to be very specifically, you will say that restore the conviction given by the NDPS court in this case. So in your prayers part, that should be very clear. So when I ask the questions, certainly the questions about the citation, this is something we ask very often. So this is a glimpse to everyone that whoever will be presenting, if you'll be referring to any judgment, you have to have the citation and a full citation. You cannot not know the name of the court. You cannot not know the year of the judgment. You may not know the page number, that's all right, but you have to be clear whether it's a High Court judgment, whether it's a Supreme Court judgment. Then the other kind of question I asked was, 1969 ka judgment, Kerala High Court, of course, was outdated. But even if it's a Supreme Court judgment, say 1960 or 1970, we are going to ask you that 40 years mein kuch hua ki nahi hua? Are you sure that this judgment has not been set aside or modified or diluted in any manner? So you have to be clear that no, because what does happen when you're searching the books and maybe sites. So when the answer was given, Indian Qanun, that I have looked at that. So Indian Qanun does not say this is the judgment of the apex court. It tells you the court. So the answer, Pawan was thinking on his feet and he said, कि India Qanun पे देखा मैंने, अगर India Qanun पे देखोगे तो उसमें तो apex court का ही judgment है, ऐसा तो नहीं है. India Qanun तो High Court का judgment भी देता है. So how do you know it was a Supreme Court judgment? So the Parashukara said that I have forgotten to write down the year, but I was searching the Supreme Court judgments, and that's what I've, this is among those judgments. So rather than making a general statement, because इतने सारे judgment वहाँ तो High Court, Supreme Court के सब होते हैं. Well, no, I made a search of the Supreme Court judgments only, and this was there, but I have by mistake, oversight, not mistake, by oversight, I've not noted down, but I will supply the citation. So that's how you kind of respond to showing that you are, because that's how can you be sure that it's a Supreme Court judgment? So I'm going to side dekhiye, side mein to dono judgments hain. So we don't pursue those line of questions because we just want you to expose that what are the kind of questions you can come. So the first question I asked was about SLP under which provision. So the answer given, and also one thing, most of the presentation by Harshit was reading down what he had written. So that's never a very good thing. No, it was a good writing, but presenting or reading from your writing is not a very good thing. So your substance was good, but your presentation needs to improve on that. Coming back to the question of SLP. So what are the circumstances in which you can file SLP? You need to look at the language of SLP. So section 136 says, notwithstanding anything in this chapter, the Supreme Court may, in its discretion, grant special leave to appeal from any judgment, decree, determination, sentence, or order in any cause or matter passed or made by any court or tribunal in the territory of India. Clause 2. Nothing in clause 1 shall apply to any judgment, determination, sentence, or order passed or made by any court or tribunal constituted by or under any law relating to the armed forces. So, Your Honor, second clause has got no application in our case. But the first one, it is a matter between, it's a criminal case matter, and there is nothing which stops the Supreme Court to exercise its discretion. So, what are the other, so you should be referring to the specific language that when I said, okay, under which clause is your thing falling? So, आपने बोला कि उसका judgment में Harsh's response was that the High Court has failed in applying the appropriate, पता नहीं क्या उसने बोला था. What was the word, Harshit, you used? What did you say? Harshit?
Ma'am, High Court applied to follow the principles that has
तो
been
ये
stated.
136 में कहाँ लिखा है? 136 में तो लिखा है complete discretion है. So there are a plethora of judgments on 136 which say that what are the circumstances in which the judge will exercise his discretion. So your answer should come from that basis. That what are the circumstances and because this is an absolute discretion, but the Supreme Court in a number of cases have said error on the face of the report is one of the very categories there, and my case falls in there. So you have to kind of make a connection between. So either you will emphasize that the court has got complete discretion, and this is a case where on the face of it, the High Court has not applied the law correctly, which was applicable on the date of the offense, and therefore the Supreme Court must intervene. So there might be reasons. At one stage, Pawan said, I will not read the language. But you have a reason. There's nothing wrong about reading the language. So the point Pawan was making was categorically this, that even, so this act is silent on this one. An attempt was made to introduce the concept of controlled delivery, but it was not made part of the legislation in 2000. It has been made part of the legislation in 2001. And because of Article 20, of the Constitution, any amendment, any increased liability of the accused cannot be imposed on the accused. The punishment and the procedures of it applicable on the date of the offense are applicable. So therefore, the fact that later on it has been made part of, but the fact that though it was part of the international convention, it had been specifically not included. So he did make that point in a little bit of roundabout manner. When you did say that, and your answer was good on when I asked you the Vishakha thing. So you did say, but you need to be categorical again on that one to say that the Supreme Court has applied the law because there was no law. But in our case, that's not the case. We have a law. So once we have a law, then you cannot add. And this law is in contravention actually. So you said very rightly that in Vishakha there's nothing contrary. So here we have a law. Vishakha was a different case. There was no law. So there was nothing contravening. But in our case, we have a law which is in contravention, which is different from the international law. And therefore, there's no reason to apply the international law by accepting a practice which is part of international law, but has not been incorporated in the Indian law. So you can be more emphatic and direct in responding to that question. But I think your presentation styles were very good. Both of you, and I think you were both in grips. So my question to you on facts is, do we know exactly whether she had opened, where are these facts given? So you have to say, on such and such page, this fact is given. So the fact I'm asking you to identify, whether Elizabeth Brown, at what point of time did she open the envelope? And at what point of time the grabbing happened? Because the whole case is built on that most crucial fact. So this other thing that she was expecting some other letter, that was an important, good answer from Harshit when he said that no letter came also. It's not that if there was another letter later on from the father, one could have had a doubt that maybe she was genuinely expecting something else. But nothing else has come. But I'm much more onto this fact that where are these facts given, the details of it. We have this very clear fact in the in the High Court judgment, which has been given later on. But on our Elizabeth, in the Emma case, the Charlotte Emma, whatever that name is, Charlotte Emma. So in that one, we have that fact in detail. But in our case of Elizabeth Brown, what are the exact facts as alleged about receiving? So there's no discrepancy between the two sides, as though that when she came for the envelope, she was made to wait for some time. So that both parties are saying. But there's a difference in the manner in which the two have stated their facts. So what are the facts which you are emphasizing, and where are they written? From where have you got those facts? What is the fact relating to her after receiving the envelope? What happened exactly?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
go ahead.
Ma'am, after that, she took the she was when she was attending at the counter. She was made to attend the. She took the parcel, and on opening it, she saw that it contained several chances of about.
कहाँ लिखा है? No, when you're referring to this, this is a very crucial fact. You should be referring to page so and so of our case material. बताओ वो case बताओ, page बताओ.
Just give me 1 minute, ma'am.
So there's a technique. When you talk about facts, you have to say fact, fact given on such and such page, such and such para, such line in our fact sheet. You have to, because this is where the whole argument will rest, one way or the other. Others are ancillary argument, but this factual matrix is a very important matrix in this case, as to exactly what happened from the point when she accepted the parcel and she was nabbed.
Madam, it is given the statement under section 313 of the Elizabeth.
Page batao. Page batao.
240. 204, sorry, 204.
204.
Second paragraph.
I'm still not there. अच्छा मेरे पास 204 में different page है. Statement of fact on receiving instructions कहाँ पढ़ रहे हो बताओ?
209 पेज नंबर आप देखो मैम. स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट लास्ट पेज 209.
206 instructions. तो 209 पे तो मेरा एक्सट्रैक्ट चालू हो जाता है.
मैम स्टार्टिंग में स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स में लिखा हुआ है मैम.
Instructions to the respondent, instructions to the appellant.
Instructions to appellant के just ऊपर वाला paragraph.
Okay, accused in her statement under 313 stated that she expected a special parcel. He was to send by on the GPO. She regularly inquired. She went to the GPO on such and such. The parcel Elizabeth had arrived. She took the slip to the person. Elizabeth took to the parcel and opening it just outside the doorway of the post office. She saw that it contained several small sachets of white powder and not the papers that she was expecting. As it was not her parcel, she turned to go back to the counter to return. But as she turned, few persons surrounded her who disclosed their identity as NCB officers and after following certain procedural requirements, arrested her. So now on this one, the prosecution has to emphasize. So what, this story itself is saying that she did turn. So why did she turn? And what are the difference in the facts of this case and the decided judgment we have? Are the facts similar? Because one argument would be that we already have a judgment which has upheld this, and therefore we should be. But are there difference in facts between Elizabeth Brown facts as given in our problem and the High Court
Yes,
judgment?
ma'am. There,
What are the facts difference?
ma'am, the differences are there that in that judgment which is given in a case mat, when that Elizabeth reached that guest house in Paharganj, they nabbed her there. But in the present case, it was given that she was nabbed in the counter itself. They didn't follow her.
No, there's one more difference, that in that case she had not even opened the parcel, so did not know what is in the parcel. In this case, she has got to know of the parcel, and realizing that it is not what she was expecting, she turned back. So as a prosecution, you will have to explain, because it is your story also that she turned back. If it is your story she turned back, you need to have a rational explanation as to why did she turn back. So when you do the analysis of facts, this is one of the things that you have to, this will be something you will have to defend. That if she turned, why did she turn? And look at this, it's such a small fact. And she had opened the envelope. In that one, it was very clear that she did not know. So she had a she had a forceful argument that I did not know what is there. But in this case, the moment she got to know, she turned back. And but she has nabbed it. So there are some important arguments on facts, and there are some important arguments on law. The arguments on law are relating to the procedure not being there in the law. So merely because, remember, in criminal law, we had a search and seizure case. You used to have, I do not know what is the scenario now, where the trapping, that was also a case of trap. So the court did not convict because this kind of trapping is not provided for. So therefore, in this case also we're saying that no, the legal procedure is not provided for. So merely because, so suppose if she, because in this one, the CBI, the narcotic drugs, this is saying that she knew what was there, she accepted the parcel, and therefore we are prosecuting her. So in order to make that claim, you have to still justify. So suppose assuming that she actually was the one who had imported it, assuming that, can you even then, suppose as I said, objectively you know that this is the fact. If that is the fact that she did accept, and suppose she did not turn back, she was going, having confirmed that she has got what she wanted to have, and she's going home. Then you trap her, then you arrest her. Will you be able to make the same argument, or will your argument in that scenario change? Will this fact make any difference?
That will weaken the difference.
Yeah, but what will be the argument then? Whether your argument will be based on the trap that you have laid down or on her action. The strategy of the prosecution will change then. Then they don't have to...
Section 54, the presumption of guilt will be much in a heavy manner will be used by the prosecution, that she knew what was in her possession, and then also she proceeded to her back home.
Yeah, so then the objection on the other side will not be that there was a trap laid, because that's not relevant at all. Because of the information they had, they were waiting for her to accept and do it. So then your emphasis, the whole argument on the basis of the trap, of the controlled delivery part of it, would not be there. So in this controlled delivery, who sent the parcel? . 'Cause The government agreed to, the government agreed to send, ना भेजा तो drug dealer नहीं है. But it's the government, both the governments which have allowed the transit of that parcel, which should have been nabbed at the very beginning itself. So then the point I'm making is that you have to look at every fact to see how this can be used in my favor or against me. Every smallest fact possible. So the weaker point in this case on the prosecution side is that we have not heard anything. And again, coming back to your exam, it does not matter that if your facts are weak, then your facts are weak. You have to argue on those weak facts only and make your best defense on the weak facts. So do not worry from the exam perspective that your facts are not favorable. What we are judging is that whether whatever the facts, and there will be a lot of cases where the police has not done a good job, the prosecution hasn't, and the investigating agency has not done a good job, or something which had not occurred to them, and therefore you lose, doesn't matter. But have you made a good argument? That's what our primary, and are you in grips with and the facts? Do you know what is your weak fact? You may have some time a defense in that one, sometime you may not have a defense against that fact. And that's okay. So anybody else who wants to make a go? Another set of 2 people to make a presentation on the same case? Or if you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am, I have a doubt.
Ji.
Ma'am, in reference to the latter one, one of the argument of Harshit was in reply to you was that she didn't receive any letter in future from her father, and means there is means he used that letter incident, but there is nothing about all of that in the facts. So can he add all of that as he replied to you?
So Harshit, give an answer.
Ma'am, that cannot be used. But as you asked the question at that time, suddenly my mind went to that High Court judgment which was given in the case mat. And I was reading it yesterday. So, ma'am, suddenly that answer came to my mind and I can't rebut at that time. But in the exams or in the competitions, we can't use any that fact. What are given in the facts, we have to use that only.
So, Ankit, that answers your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we do not object to everything the students are saying. Because if we keep on with it, then the only argument, they will spend so much time. But what we are looking forward is that whether the student answered. And in some cases, when they have not they have kind of bring up some more facts, we'll just note it, not necessarily rebut it. Because we would want to also, because the same problem will be presented by some other people also. And we want to say how many people are going to now continue on the same story. So somebody else, I might say, okay, where it is in the facts. So I will not, as my practice is that I will not ask all clarifications from the same person. So somebody has done something wrong, I might, if somebody else also said the same thing, then I might say, ठीक है, दिखाओ facts में कहाँ लिखा है. वो trap question होता है फिर. इसलिए ने बोला तो आपने उसका सुन के हाँ में हाँ मिला दिया, अपने लिए भी अपने लिए जोड़ लिया. So don't do that. Apply your own mind that because this is likely to happen for some of you. उनको लगा अच्छा ये तो बड़े अच्छा जवाब दिया फला स्टूडेंट ने जब मैडम ने पूछा था. So you will want to continue with that information. But don't believe that if you have not objected, then it means that it is the correct thing. It may be still the incorrect thing, but we don't want to discourage students. We do not want to reveal all our cards, so to say. So we may not say anything at that point of time. But certainly, the facts are clear, that the rule is clear, that you cannot add facts. You can infer facts, but you cannot add facts. Anything else? Anybody else who wants to present? A short argument, if not the complete one. Anybody who wants to present the statement of facts? How would you present? I want you to do somebody to take this on. How do you present the facts on the prosecution side? And how, in what respects will the facts be differently emphasized on the defense side? Also remember to put your attendance, P for yourself. If no volunteers, no questions, we are good to go.
Ma'am, shall I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, ma'am, as appellant, we will focus on the point that it was Miss Elizabeth who came to the post office multiple times before this date, and it was only her who actually asked for the parcel with the name Elizabeth, and and the NCB officers. And the officers found her in the possession of the drugs when they actually snapped her. So by all this, the presumption lies that she has only ordered the parcel which had the drugs in it.
Okay. What will be the other side story?
The other side will focus more on the point that it's a case of a mistaken identity, and Elizabeth is a very common name, and she asked for the parcel, but actually it is not the parcel for which she asked for some other parcel, and it is some probably the and it is the mistake on the part of the GPU employees who have given her the wrong parcel, and then they will emphasize on the fact that she actually turned back to return it. And had not the NCB employees stopped her, she would have returned that. So it has been actually, all this has been done by the NCB employees to find someone else, but she has been she has been prosecuted in this act for which she is not actually guilty. And another point would be about that it's the government who has actually allowed the drugs to come into the country. The government of both the countries, Germany and India. It's not the Elizabeth who has ordered and who has requested for that parcel. It's the government who via controlled delivery has allowed the drug to come into India. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, could this also be a possibility when we say that the government from that country has something to do with it? They might have changed the parcel, and this is not the, since they know that there's a parcel which Elizabeth is expecting, so they have changed the parcel, and it is them who are trying to implicate her in some in a similar case. So
No, because the point I think that the defense did make was that we do not know whether the evidence has been protected properly, because it did change lots of hands. And if it changes hand, at what point of time it was, maybe there was some simple powder in there was some medication powder in it, and which was later on substituted with the drugs. So that may be one argument. But coming back to the first question about whether she had received any other parcel or not. Ordinarily, in 313 statement, she would have said everything in her defense. So she had not pointed out in her defense that she did indeed receive a parcel, the expected parcel from her father at a subsequent date. So this omission will be seen as saying that, of course, she had not mentioned this. So we are only stating a fact that she has not mentioned that she received anything. And the burden to prove that she had received anything which goes in her favor is on her. So in her statement, she has made no reference to that. So instead of saying categorically that she did not receive and it is proved, what you will say, Harshit, will be that in her own statement, she has not mentioned that she received anything later on. So that is how you will bring in that fact without asserting that we have proof. So there's a difference, na? There's a difference between you saying that yes, we have proof that she did not receive anything. The other one is to say that she has not stated that she has received, and therefore the inference is that she has not received. Had she received, she would have mentioned it in 313. That see, this was not the parcel, this is the parcel I was expecting. Normally, this is what the defense would have said. But because she has not said that, that means that she never received the parcel which she claimed what she was expecting and was inquiring about. So in fact, when she was coming every day to ask several times she came, she knew, she was already in the knowledge, which Ankita said, she was already in the knowledge that such and such parcel is expected. And therefore, she had the intention to receive the packet, which she did receive. So Ankit, what is permissible is inference. So this categorical statement which Harshit made was not right, but he could have still said the same thing, differently formulated, saying that she has not claimed that any parcel was received. It's very interesting.
In reference to Rachit Tosan, there is it's given in the statement of facts that the controlled delivery was done with the knowledge and the supervision of the government of Germany and India.
Yeah.
So I think it will answer very well that both the governments actually know what was transferred.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what the controlled delivery is. उसमें तो कोई वो नहीं है ना. But
his point was that the government of Germany wanted to implicate her.
नहीं, जर्मनी का कहाँ उसने बोला? मुझे तो, well, I didn't hear that if she said that. That's it. Did you say that, Harshit?
Yes, I did refer to that. If a country wants somebody to, if a country wants to implicate some citizen who has left the country, so that country
yeah, but
could
why would no? What is your rationale for saying why would Germany want to do it? What is their story on Elizabeth? Why would they want to punish her or kind of implicate her?
I didn't think about that. I just thought it could.
And what is the importance? No, what is the importance of that argument? You are on the prosecution. You do not want to get acquittal, na?
Yes.
So then that's going against you. That's going against you. ये तो सीधा सा गया कि ना, उसको फिर तो ट्रैप ही कर रहे हैं, जानबूझ के, मतलब उसको फंसाया जा रहा है, उसकी इंटेंशन तो है ही नहीं.
This could have been the defense argument, not the prosecution's.
Yeah. But in that also, the defense take that argument. They still have to have a story. उसका मतलब connection क्या है between this woman and Germany? What is the connection? वहां से वो भाग के निकली है, वो उनकी रिफ्यूजी है, मतलब वो क्या कहते हैं, रिफ्यूजी नहीं, वो जो बोलते हैं जो भागे हुए क्रिमिनल्स होते हैं, वो है, क्या है वो? Why would Germany want to do that? Even if the defense wants to say that, even if the defense wants to say that, they'll have to make a story for explaining why would Germany do it for her. Not a question that any state can do it.
Yes.
But why would they do it for this woman?
Intention was to question the chain of custody. So, but you since you've mentioned that it's a controlled delivery, so both the governments are aware of the material facts and what is being sent. So that clears my doubt.
Yeah. So okay, well done. I would say good luck to all of you. We are ready to start our exam process from Monday. Shall we say yes, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So our formal education center sessions have come to an end. and we are going to, but remember, your learning hasn't stopped with the classes. Your learning is actually now going to begin. Because when you will perform and you will see the other perform, then only you will learn that what you thought at a theoretical level, when you actually come to deliver it, what are the things you're doing well. So very quickly, I think I want one feedback. Harshit and who was the other one? Pawan. Harshit and Pawan have to do a self-assessment, have to reflect back on their presentation and tell us what do you think you've done well and what do you think you can do differently in the next presentation. Both of you have to give a feedback on your own self-assessment on your performance.
I think my mannerism was to the mark. I did a little sort of mannerism as expected, and arguments were more like rounded one. They were not centered to the main argument, but I made arguments, but were more surrounded, like they were moving like a circle, but not up to the mark as to make a point, make an actual point of argument. And finish, not more.
Okay. Harshit?
Ma'am, there were many defects in my presentation. The one positive fact,
बाद में बात करेंगे अच्छा क्या क्या ये बताओ पहले.
ma'am, the positive fact was that I have yesterday I have written it very well. I have framed the arguments in a very precise manner, what I have to present. But I was very fast, as you have pointed out that I was reading the arguments. I usually do not do it, but because I do not have very much time, I was reading the judgment yesterday only. So that's why I was reading it, and I think that I was too fast for the class to precise that what they are taking from the facts. I was little bit fast. I was taking the time limit also, because in the competition you don't have to state the facts very much fast, because I have read the whole fact sheet only. Some of the facts that I have not read, but I have read the facts. I have not presented the facts in my way.
Yes.
So then these are the some defects that I think that I could
बिल्कुल
improve.
आपको हाँ बिल्कुल पढ़ना नहीं चाहिए मटेरियल में से कि ये तो उन्होंने
Yes,
फैक्ट
ma'am.
दे ही रखा मैंने पढ़ दिए, वो नहीं होता. That's not how you present your facts.
Yes.
So, but I thought both of you had very good diction. You had both of you had fluency. So that was good thing. And both of you answered, thinking on your feet when I asked questions. You were paying attention to what I was asking. The first time you did not, but from second time onwards, you did pay attention. So I'm very pleased that this was the maiden attempt at moot court by you people, and you've done pretty well. Anybody else who wants to make a comment on their presentations in terms of communication, not in terms of substance?
It was presented really well. So good job, Harshit and Pawan.
Yeah, that is not enough. You have to identify what you found was good. What aspect of it was good?
The politeness. If I talk about Harshit first, then he was really concise, and he was really polite, and so this particular fact I liked a lot. And whenever you ask the questions, he patiently replied to you, he answered to you, even when he didn't know the answer. He somehow he acknowledged that he didn't know the answer, and he so that fact was well recognized and acknowledged. And if I talk about Pawan, he so since they were both on the opposite sides, but it never felt that they were on the opposite sides. It felt like they were the co-counsels arguing the same case. So he so this was a good part, I guess. Pawan's argument were also it was concise, and the mannerisms and everything was very pleasant.
Okay, I look forward to your performances from Monday onwards. And as I mentioned, Monday we are meeting at the regular time, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we will meet at 1:30. And because there are 3 presentations, 3 mocks on Monday, it may happen that we may have to stay back a little longer because the day one, and we'll see how the time limits go. Okay, good
Ma'am,
luck.
I have a question. Ma'am, I
Yeah.
have a question, ma'am. Can I ask?
हाँ जी.
Ma'am, during examination in chief,
अंकित को हमेशा तब याद आता है जब कहते हैं बाय बाय, है ना? चलो बोलो अंकित.
ma'am, during examination in chief, can we make submissions along with the open-ended questions? Can we make submissions whenever our witness will speak, give a statement? Can we submit along with that to court?
नहीं, इशू उसमें कहाँ से आ जाएगा? आपको सिर्फ सवाल पूछने हैं अपने विटनेस से.
Yes, ma'am.
What you may perhaps mention is कि सर ये जरा स्पेशली नोट कर लिया जाए, इन्होंने ये कहा है. वो तो कह सकते हो.
Okay.
हाँ, मगर इसका इशू नहीं होगा. इस वक्त में इशू नहीं होता है क्योंकि नोट कर लिया जाए कि विटनेस ने ये कहा है.
ठीक है मैम, ये पॉइंट टू भी नोटेड किया देना मैम.
हाँ, ऐसा कह सकते हैं.
ठीक है मैम.
ऑल्सो मैम, अगर एग्जामिनेशन इन चीफ में वो बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं मेंशन करते हैं, सो कैन वी टेक आउट द स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम द व्हिच इज गिवन इन द बुक एंड आस्क क्वेश्चंस ऑन बेसिस ऑफ दैट स्टेटमेंट, सो द थिंग्स व्हिच आर कन्वीनियंटली मिस्ड बाय द यू नो द अदर पार्टी.
देखो, जो कन्वीनियंटली उन्होंने मिस किया वो आपकी थ्योरी में आप ला सकते हो. So you can use that, but the examination chief, the lawyer on that side cannot use those facts. Things which you did not bring out in your examination chief, you cannot use them in arguments.
Okay. And is there
other side, so again, I suggest to you this is what happened. I suggest to you this is what happened. You can bring out those gaps in your cross examination.
Okay. And there's one more thing. Since the time limit is allotted 40 minutes, so is there a dedicated time that we need to give to the present to the last arguments, or can we divide the time accordingly on the basis of our preparation? So how do we go about the?
I think अपने आप कर सकते हो कि आपको कहाँ ज़्यादा टाइम लगाना है, but on an ordinary on an average 10 मिनट मान के चलो हर जने के लिए.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
4 लोग हैं ना, सबके 10 मिनट में आप कितना चीफ करोगे, कितना आर्ग्यूमेंट करोगे, कितना क्रॉस करोगे, वो आप अपने आपस में देख लो. माय काइंड ऑफ सजेशन टू यू विल बी कि बहुत राउंड अबाउट वे में क्रॉस को मत करना, क्योंकि आप लोग ना वो फिल्मों वाले स्टाइल में सोचते हो कि हम उसको ट्रैप करेंगे सवाल पूछ करके. वो आपके लॉन्ग वाइंडिंग उसमें हो सकता है कैटेगरी में, अगर यहाँ पे वो वाला टेक्निक ज्यादा फंक्शन नहीं करेगी एग्जाम पर्पस के लिए. So your cross should very categorically show where you are likely to, where are you going in your story. तो आपकी जो आपकी स्टोरी है उसको प्रूफ करने के लिए और रेनफोर्स करने के लिए आप अपनी क्रॉस करोगे और उसको आप फिर आर्ग्यूमेंट में इस्तेमाल करोगे. So your cross should clearly indicate as to what is the story you want to build up. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any one last question? Good. Everybody will have questions when you perform. So good, we will learn as we go along. Occasionally we might have some reflections. अगर time कभी मिलेगा बीच में, so we can also reflect on also what happened. Especially जब कोई सा सीरीज खत्म होगी ना, case 1 जब खत्म होगा, so we will have a review at that point of time. कि इस बारे में पूरे range of arguments क्या रही, what has been a right approach, what has been a new approach, whatever comes out of that. So we may reflect at the end of all the presentations on a given case and then move on to the next case. That's how I am thinking of proceeding. So righto, good luck and see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.